Welcome back to Accessible Gourmet. Today we're making Korean hot dogs. I've been seeing these all over Pinterest and it's just something I've been dying to try to make. So you'll see I just soaked some skewers in water because I don't want them to burn when we go to fry them before I started on our batter. So to 1 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, I added 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and a half teaspoon of salt and gave this a mix before I added in my 1 whole egg, as well as 3/4 of a cup of cold whole milk. The baking powder is going to help these puff up when they land in the oil, but you just want to give this a good mix. It is going to be thick, kind of like a pancake or a waffle batter. I'm transferring this over to one of my favorite containers in my kitchen, a deli container. I have a ton of these. They're just great for storage, for food prep, for just about everything. But I figured a vertical container would be a little easier to dip our hot dogs into. Once all the mixture is in there, we're going to pop this in the fridge because the key to this batter is keeping it as cold as possible. So on Pinterest, I noticed that a lot of these hot dogs do have French fried potatoes on the outside. They're just basically potato. You could use French fries if you want to, but I'm going this route. So I am just peeling 1 medium-sized Yukon Gold potato, giving it a little choppity chop, and we're going to cube this into a very small dice. We don't want these to be large chunks. We are going to blanch them a little bit, but I am cubing this up into small cubes. Pardon the background noise. My neighbors decided to open every faucet in his apartment apparently, so that's what this microphone is picking up. I apologize. So once everything is nicely diced up, we're going to put this in cold water, bring it to a boil, and let it cook for 2 minutes before we drain the potatoes. Now I am doing 2 versions. So I have hot dogs and mozzarella. This is a low moisture whole milk mozzarella. And you want to chop these into sticks roughly the same width and length as our hot dogs. You'll notice I chopped one of the mozzarella sticks in half as well as one of the hot dogs because I'm doing half and half ones. We're going to skewer up our hot dogs. My plan is to batter and panko for one of each of these iterations and one with batter, potatoes, and panko for the other. So you notice I'm doing hot dog and cheese, and then on the next one I'm doing cheese and hot dog just to like mix it up a little bit, and just that I'm having fun. You should have fun when you cook. You should play with your food. Next up, we're doing just straight up mozzarella. These are the most adult mozzarella sticks you'll probably ever put in your mouth. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Once everything is assembled, we're going to start with our panko. I'm using about a cup of panko breadcrumbs. I like panko because it gets that shatteringly crisp crispiness when you coat something in it. And I've also drained and cooled down my potatoes and put it in a separate tray. Sorry, I'm having trouble speaking. Now this batter is super thick, so I did find it easier to use a spoon to help coat our little hot doggy jog with. So once that's fully coated in batter, I am going to roll this around in my panko breadcrumbs. I found it easier kind of just to scoop the panko over the batter until it was a little bit more adhered, and it made it a little easier in shaping it with your hand. And once this is all coated, I did pop this on a tray and throw that back in the fridge because we want these to stay cold. I mean, everything should stay cold during this whole operation. Now is the attempt with the potatoes in panko. I'm really excited about this one because it just looks so kind of wow-worthy when I saw it on Pinterest. So here we go. We're adding our diced potatoes, trying to coat it. It is not working very well. Plopping it into the panko, and I have to tell you, this was an utter and complete fail. I did end up throwing out the potatoes because there's egg in this raw egg, and I didn't want to poison anyone with food poisoning in my house. So we got rid of the potatoes and moved the breadcrumbs over to a larger tray or plate because I was just making a huge mess with that smaller one. And again, as I worked with these a little bit more, I kind of perfected this coating system that I had going on. Still not a pretty process, but believe me, the end product is going to be worth it. Now onto our adult mozzarella sticks. These actually ended up being my favorite of all of them. You'll see why at the end of this video. But yep, just rolling this around in the batter and then coating it in panko. And over medium heat, we want to bring our oil up to about 375, and we're going to pop in all of our skewered little goodies here. We're gonna cook them for about 6 minutes or until they're golden brown. Once they're done, we're gonna take them out and put them on a paper line baking sheet or plate or whatever you'd like to use. And then to finish these off, we're just decorating them with just a little plain old yellow mustard and some ketchup. And oh my goodness gracious, come on. But there it is. That's my version of Korean hot dogs. I hope you try to make it. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, click the like button. If you loved it, subscribe because I put out new videos every Thursday. Until next time, happy cooking.